What's up, guys? It is race day, so today I am going to be taking my silver Evo to do some spectator racing at Norway Speedway, which is going to be a good 100-mile drive each way. So obviously the car will have to make it there, and then we're going to see who shows up and who we're racing against. I've been to Norway Speedway once before, as you may have watched. It went pretty well for my first time being there. Track was a bit slippier than I thought it would be, but overall it was still kind of fun. It's also a bit shorter. Obviously, the Shano Speedway, where I go on dirt, usually it's like a half mile, so that's a long track. This one's only a third mile, and it's not very banked. It doesn't have a lot of grade to the corners, so it's definitely a bit different. Now, obviously, tires are a big deal when you're doing any type of racing. I got these Hoosiers on the black car for drag racing. Hopefully I'll get there someday. But what I'm trying, this is kind of a test day for me a little bit when I go up to Norway today. I got the Falcon Zena's 615K Plus. That's what I'm going to actually be running today, kind of as more of a test, because prior to this, last time when I went up there, I had the Advan AO52s, and those, they definitely felt greasy, and they're takeoffs from ASM, so they do not have much life left on them. So I'm going to try these and see how they hold up, and hopefully they'll work out just fine. Otherwise I might have to invest in some other tires. Like I said, it's kind of a test day a little bit for me to see how these tires work out. Some other things I had to do to prep it, of course, was swap the wheels, check fluids. Shifter's been a little weird. I was just playing with the shifter a little bit to try to make sure everything's good there. And then, of course, just prepping everything, getting ready. I have all this stuff that I'm going to bring along. Obviously, air pressure gauge, just an air pump. I'm going to torque my wheels. I always check my wheels before I go out. I need my helmet. I got some long pants up front and toolbox. Hopefully I won't need famous last words. And some GoPros. So hopefully I'll at least have some in-car video, if nothing else. So that's about it. We're about to hit the road and drive 100 miles to do some spectator racing. All right, made it to the track. I did my normal routine of torquing my tires, unloaded some stuff out of the car that I don't want sliding around, get rid of floor mats, stuff like that, and check tire pressure, and that was it. So now we got a couple cars here. We got other all-wheel drive cars, a Subaru. There's gonna be two WRXs, Firebird, Volkswagen, and I think there's a G8 and a BMW coming yet. So we should be starting racing in like an hour.
Out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. He won last year's opening round. And the outside, the 03 car, Remington Cripe out of Crystal Falls. He's made it to the semis already this year. So Remington Cripe is on the outside. Paul Ellerson out of Green Bay on the inside. Remington out of Crystal Falls. Inside of the 777, the 3 of Dean Barta on the outside. Paul inside, Dio outside. Mike Weishaupt says, let's go. Here they come on the fourth turn. So Gerald has to win this one to force the third and deciding race. If Paul wins, he is the champion for tonight. I'd like to give a big shout out to Jim Chartry, who puts this thing together. In fact, he won a race at Slinger not too long ago. But he just puts this one together, does a heck of a job. So Jim, thank you very much. This time it'll be Gerald DeGree Jr. on the inside, Paul Ellerson on the outside. Gerald in 25, Paul in the 777. This year's opening round on May 31st, and he gets it here tonight. So congratulations to Paul Ellerson and to Gerald DeGree Jr. for making the finals in the Spectator Eliminators.
Okay, so I just got back home. I think I'm gonna edit this video where you probably just watched my runs, but I haven't watched any of my runs yet. But I have to say, overall, I felt good. I was happy with my driving. I was happy with all my launches. I felt like I carried more speed coming out of corner two than I did the last time I was there. Again, it's only my second time at the track. So overall, I was happy with my driving. And I don't know the cars real well, but I raced a Volkswagen Jetta, I think, first, and then some sort of BMW second. And then the third and final run was against the G8. That guy was the champion last year there. Obviously a quick car from what everyone said. He had nitrous, so it must be putting out some good horsepower, but I got to race him twice because the last race of the night is always best 2 out of 3. As for the tires, like I said, I'm running the Falcon 615K Plus. They felt good. They felt at least predictable to me. Like, I don't know, they just felt pretty good overall. I was pretty happy with the way they were. So I think they should work well to do it again. I felt the car kind of rotate, but it felt a predictable amount of rotation that I kind of wanted when I was coming through 3 and 4. Felt like I was actually sliding. I don't think the video actually showed it, but I think that was my very final run against the G8. It felt like it was sliding quite a bit, but it was a good slide, even though, you know, obviously if you're sliding, you don't have as much grip, but it felt good to me on the tires. Shout out to Jim for running a smooth event again. The way they run the Spectators up there is really cool compared to a lot of other places, because it's very well organized and they actually run an intermission. So that was cool. That's the only reason I'm actually home before like 1 a.m. Because again, I drove an hour and a half to get there, an hour and a half back. So by the time I do that, like, it'd be a really late night if I was the last one to run. But luckily we got to race around 8 o'clock tonight. So I'm back home now at like 11. So again, overall, a good event. I feel bad kind of for the girl driving WRX, ended up hitting the wall. It was her first time there. I give her credit for coming out. I give credit to everybody for coming out. Of course, they're all doing laps around people that aren't showing up at all. There seems to be a lot of people there trying to just get more seat time, and that's cool. A lot of younger drivers up there, and the track seems to encourage that, so it's good. Again, feel bad. Hopefully, I know most of my viewers are pretty good about it, but you know, I don't think you're gonna see that crash in this video, but I'll probably post it in a different one of mine. So be respectful in the comments. You know, everyone's trying, everyone's learning, but just wanted to shout out, you know, say I'm glad they came, glad everyone's trying, and you know, shit happens to everybody. But overall, that's it. Again, for me personally though, it was a good night. I was pretty dang happy with my driving. I got all my launches down. The car held up great. Again, of course, shout out to, you know, ASM. The tune on this thing it's been amazing. The car's been holding up great. My ACT clutch has been holding up great. I've been putting a lot of launches on this thing. I haven't had any issues with it yet. I don't have a lot of street miles on this clutch, but I've been drag racing it, or launching it a lot, I should say. Kind of, you know, drag racing on the launch. So super happy with how the car held up, and now it's time for me to go to bed. So as always, it's Paul from Boosted Film saying thanks so much for watching. Just want to say that domestic violence is never okay. If you or someone you know is experiencing issues with a partner and doesn't feel safe, please visit the website thehotline.org or call 1-800-799-SAFE.